for you guys. I know a lot of you are, oops, fellow crafters. This cord is too short. And I'm sorry you have to watch this dingle dangle. But I know a lot of you who watch me are fellow crafters and you're just looking for some inspiration and wonder what other people do. Kind of like I do. I watch other crafters because I like inspiration. I like watching other people craft. All of that good stuff. And I think a lot of you who watch me are the same. So I have a question for you. When you craft, do you end up with a lot of half-finished projects like this guy? Because it's covered in dog hair. Because it's been laying around so much that the masking tape has started to come off. So it's definitely time to get this guy done. But do you get like a lot of crafts that lie around that you're not finishing, like half-finished projects? Because I have a ton of them. I have too many ideas. I start on so many projects and I just go like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, I could do that. And I just kind of in the middle of everything just start a new one. So I end up like with a ton of half-finished projects. And also, I run out of a certain material or, you know, something. Like when I was starting to make these, I ran out of egg cartons. And as you saw in the previous video, I have a ton now. Because I have friends who give me egg cartons. And I appreciate you. Thank you, Pernilla and Katarina, if you're watching this. Thank you so much for all the egg cartons, guys. I appreciate it. I always need more. Always more. At the moment, I can't make more clay because I don't have anything to kind of mix the paper pulp with at the moment. So I won't be. This will be the last batch. So. As you remember from a previous video, I put this stuff. These are all the egg cartons that I've run in a food processor, and then I left them in water for a while, and now it's time to make clay out of it. And I've been delaying this for a while. I've had a lot of other things happening, and oh my goodness. I spent about half the night again chasing a fox. That's the thing. Yep, that's the thing. So what I do, you probably can't see the bucket over here. Can I put it on the table? I don't know if I have a really small outdoor table, but it's too hot to be inside today. At least outside, it's a little bit, kind of a little breeze every now and again. So it's just super hot. I just checked, it was 28 degrees plus in the shade. And God knows how hot it is in the sun because it's horrible. Actually, my my joints and everything are really happy, but I kind of tend to swell up when it's hot and my brain doesn't function. Well, let's be honest, it doesn't function otherwise either, but you know. So what I do, I'm just gonna check if you can even see what I'm doing, so you will see the cord even more. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, good. Sorry about the kind of the exposure and change because everything is so white, and I'm not quite sure how to fix that on this phone. I tried. This is the best I can do, so hopefully you can see anyway. So I have this little metal strainer to help get the water out, and I just press to get as much water out as I can for now. I might need to add some water later, but for now I kind of want as much out as possible. And I dump it in there. And this is where I go. Simple as that. So these are just egg cartons that I ripped to pieces, left in water for a bit, ran in my food processor with blades, so cut it up. Remember, just use small amounts at a time and add water to it as you blend it. Or it will just bounce around in there in the blender. The longer you let like the pieces of egg carton, as long as you let them like soak before you run it in a food processor or whatever you're using to sort of shred it up. You can do it by hand too. Of course you can. You can just sit there and rip it. I've been doing since the since the food process broke. I burned the engine. Kind of expected. It's 30 years old and, you know, been well used. But you can just leave the pieces of egg carton to soak, and then you will end up with, if the smaller you rip it, the easier it will be. The smaller you rip it before you put it in the water, the easier it will be. So like pieces like this, when they're wet, you can just easily just sort of blend them. Blend them? Not the way I'm looking. Also, if you see like the black, it's still color left from when I was painting, so it was worse. I have a tendency to get a lot of paint all over me and all over the surfaces and kind of everywhere. I'm a messy crafter. I'm a really messy crafter. Always been. Probably, most likely, always will be a very, very messy crafter. That's me. I just today watched Mariah Elizabeth's latest upload where she did a part 2 of a tour of her new craft room since she moved, and I was like, oh my goodness, I want that. I want that. Yeah. Oh my god, it was so amazing. And all the craft materials she had, I was like, yum, 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 I want that. I was like, please set me loose in there. Let me craft. It's like, oh, I just, watching her videos gave me ideas. And she was just showing how she, like, oh, I'm checking my zipper. It has a tendency to come down. So, yeah, maybe I should have checked that before I start filming, but it's okay. The door isn't open. Sorry. Oops. But, you know, just watching her video with all the craft material that she has, both part 1 and part 2, it's just like inspiration overload. I mean, she wasn't even making anything in those videos. She was just showing you around, showing stuff that she made. Ouch! Oh, those biting little buggers. That hurt. What the? Okay. Brain fart. Yeah, just watching her. Ouch! Bugger bit me. Bit me again. Yeah, just watching all the craft material and the things that she has made in the past. I mean, I follow her for quite some time. She makes amazing stuff. I would love to have her. She has 2 books that I'm brain farting on the name now. Create This Book 1 and 2. Create This Book. I mean, how hard can it be to remember? I'm just hot. I've been swimming with my dog earlier today, and it's like our river gets really cold, but even now, even the river is warm. So, like, the second you leave the water, you're hot again. And I felt I started to burn my back in the sun, so I'm staying in the shade. And it's too hot to think, so I'm not doing schoolwork. I can do that this evening when it gets colder. I'm doing crafting and a little bit of filming. And I'm sorry if this is super annoying. I can get that, but I don't know how else to make you hear what I'm saying unless I scream. Trying to keep it out of the way. When I did the little first test to see if I needed it, oops, still like a lot of water left. But you can't have it too dry either, or the whole thing will dry before you get a chance to work with it. So, anyway, so just watching crafters is really inspiring. And if I have a really down day and I really don't know, you know, shit happens and all of that, we all have that in our lives where like stuff doesn't go right and things break and you run out of money or whatever it may be that you have as an, you know, what happens that kind of takes you down, or you might have a fight with your hubby or best friend or whatever the problem may be. If I'm feeling a bit down or a lot down, that happens, just watching other people craft, even if it's a craft that I can't do myself, like resin. Ouch! Quit biting me, you big thingy. I have horse flies. I think that's called horse flies in English. It's like big flies and they bite like chunks out of you. Hurts. And it has a tendency to land when you least expect it. But just watching other people's craft just really picks me up and just gets inspirational. I kind of forget my problem for a while and get my like creativity flowing, and just thinking about the stuff that I want to do makes me happy. Most of the time. Sometimes it's frustrating and I get sad because I know, oh, I can't do that, I can't afford those materials that I want. And like resin is one of those. Ouch! Leave me alone. Stupid thing. Like resin is one of those things. I really want to get into resin. I've been picking some flowers to dry and press today. I've actually already put some to dry and press, because pressed flowers you can use for like a lot of crafts. You can use them for junk journaling, you can use them in like resin pieces, you can use them, put a piece of tape over them and decorate your letters with them. If you write letters, if you're like me, I like writing letters, just regular old-fashioned letters, and you can use them. They get kind of delicate, so you have to be careful with them when they dry. Just a regular fly. Oh my god. Oh guys, my kitty cat is sleeping. Yeah, so I spend most of my night hunting a fox. I just remember that because I watch my kitty over there. I don't know what's wrong with this fox. I filmed it. There's a video somewhere on my channel with that fox. Hey baby. And it comes here in yell of my cats, especially towards fire that is yellow. So I'm thinking maybe this is I think this one is really in the way right now because it moved away that way. I think it's better. Maybe I don't know what to do with this. I can't put it here because then you get in the way of the camera. When I have it here, then it really gets in the way, so I cannot. Oops, sorry. Come on, girl. You can do this. You can do this. Put it over there. Maybe that will go. And now the wind comes. Oh, it feels so good. Thank you, wind. I appreciate you. A lot of times I just go, oh, it's so windy today. Today I'm just, wind. Like, sometimes you love a thing and sometimes you hate it. Well, anyway, this fox has been driving me bonkers. Because it comes here and it yells at my cat. I think I'm just gonna be happy with this for now. I'm gonna leave the rest for later. I don't want to make too much at the time. You can, however, you can make a lot of this at a time, and just make sure you put it in a properly sealed bag and it lasts for a few days if you keep it in the fridge. So what I simply do now, I have all this stuff. I just add glue, and I forgot my wood glue somewhere, so I'm gonna use school glue. Works too, same shit. A different price. This was a lot more expensive, and I haven't had it open in a while, so yeah, I got it open. Good, goody good. And last time the fox was here, not tonight, but the time before that, it had taken a baby, like a baby duckling or something, some bird that likes swim. So it had like big feet. This, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of like getting all gooey and stuff. Like when I bake, I also I don't use like these whisks with stuff. I just put my hands, clean my hands, of course, if I'm baking. I should clean my hands before this too, but anyway. I'm about to spill my coffee. This table is anything but steady, you know, just let's put my coffee over here. So I feel this is a bit too wet actually for my liking. I didn't press out enough water. What you can do to help that is to put in some wheat flour a little bit, or I mean there's tons of recipes on how to make different kinds of paper clay. This one gives quite a rough texture, as you can see. I mean, even if after it dries it gives up this texture. But yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Feels kind of, it's a bit too soft and a bit too watery, but you can put like I said, wheat flour in it, or you can use cornstarch, or you can use what's it called, wood filler. That's the word I'm looking for, wood filler in here. You can have some lemon, not lemon, yeah, you can have lemon too, but I'm thinking vinegar, just a little bit to help with the, in case of molding. But I never had any problem with mold growing on it or anything, because I use such thin layers of it. You don't need to put on like thick, like globs, just blah. You don't need to do that. You just put like thin layers. You take some, just put it on. And this I got from, not this specific mix, but this techniques and stuff for building things is from the channel Where the Gnome Lives. Where the Gnomes Live? Yeah, Where the Gnomes Live, not Where the Gnome Lives. Either way, check her out. She's awesome. I mean, the stuff she makes, oh my goodness, it's amazing. It's fantastic. I love her stuff. I'm not quite happy with the consistency. I wish I had wood filler at home. This would definitely use some wood filling material in here. And if you get this too dry, just add a little bit of water, just like a few drops at a time, till you get the consistency that you want. And if it gets very sticky, like when you try to move clay like this and everything just gets stuck to your finger, just dip your finger in some glue and use it to like smooth it out. You just have a little container with wood glue or whatever glue you're using, like at the side. So I don't know why I poured it in this side. I need it over here. Sorry, I'm making a mess. Okay, so I just put some wood glue on here. That makes it easier to run your finger over it. You know, it doesn't get stuck that much. But I think for this purpose, I think I have a pretty good consistency here. Like I said, it's a bit too wet for my liking, but everyone do there. If you want it a bit drier to work with, you go ahead and make it drier. If you want it like this consistency, you do that. And it's so easy to get off too. And since all this is, I mean, the glue is water-based, this is just paper, it's easy to get rid of too. But once it's dry, it can get stuck to everything. So make sure to clean your bowls and material, you know, tools or anything you use. If you don't want to use your hands, you can use like regular sculpting tools, something like this. Use like those silicone sort of molding things. I'm trying to remember the name. I'm thinking of, I can't remember what they're called. Those silicone, like, look almost like a paintbrush, but they're silicone. Not the one with the strands, but the one with the sort of tip. I can't remember what they're called. Silicone molding tool, maybe, I don't know. But I think most of you know what I'm talking about anyway. If you don't, let me know. I'll find a link to something, or I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay. So this is kind of easy. You just press it down. You make kind of a thin layer and you just press it and kind of move it along so it's not too thick. It's better if you want like a thicker layer or fill out somewhere. It's better to let it dry in between and put the second layer on top. Like all kind of air drying clay, it does have shrinkage, and it's kind of different shrinkage depending on how much water you have in it. Like this one is really watery, so it will probably shrink a lot, which means when I put this clay on top, this will dry like this. So I'm not gonna put, I have a little there, but that's by actual accident. So I'm not gonna put anything on the bottom, which means that these legs, when this dry and get shorter, the legs will go, not legs, it's not legs, it's roots. Yeah, the leg of the tree is a root, apparently. No, it's not. Oh my goodness. Actually, the root should be their mouth, right? This should be the mouth of the tree, because they eat with their roots. But that makes the saying set down roots kind of strange, don't you think? Because trees put down roots to eat with. My mind is going someplace really strange. I'm gonna remove myself from that thought. But oh my god, that would be kind of funny. Just see people just biting down on the ground. I'm setting down roots here. Just biting down on the ground. No, my mind is going someplace where I don't want it to go. Okay, let's have a little bit of water. Yeah, I'm gonna mess up my water bottle, but I don't care. I just use like soda bottles, and I have used them for water for a while, and when I think they become yucky, I just get a new soda and have a new bottle, and I recycle the old bottle. Okay. Also, you see here, I kind of try to emphasize the ridges a bit by just slight pinching, and don't bother about making it even, because trees are never even. Oh, the wind. Oh, thank goodness for the wind. It feels so good. Oh my goodness, guys, you have no idea. So trees are never even, so don't bother too much. If you get a lump where you don't want it, that's one thing, but you know, don't worry too much about it getting it all smooth, because bark is never smooth. And I usually put the clay on, and afterwards I go over with usually like something sharp and make some like tree bark texture, just, you know, run my blade on top. And if I think, like here, I think I got too much of the unevenness, I just and it's gone. But I kind of like when it kind of sticks out a little bit, because that's the way tree looks. You do you. You do what you like. You do the tree that you want. If you want it pink and glittery, make it pink and glittery. If you want it all black, make it all black. You do you. Just showing you what I do. And blab. I'm good at blabbing. Also, I just realized, by the way, earlier today, that I have gotten a lot of new subscribers. So, hi guys, and thank you for following me. And apparently, I'm not the only one who feels this way every time someone subscribes. Like, why? Like, my videos are unedited, at least for now. I vow that I will learn to edit one day. I just haven't got around to it. Aisha girl, I'm waiting for you. You promised you will teach us how to edit. I'm waiting for you. Come on girl, show us. I'm a mess. Look at this. Okay. Took one off and another one gets stuck. Yeah, that's me. That's me. It's like, I don't edit my videos, and I blab a lot, and my videos are like all over the place. Sometimes I do cheap crafts, because this is cheap. This is cheap. This is just old egg cartons, water, and wood glue. And this is made out of just cheap tinfoil, some paper, and some masking tape. Those are cheap materials. You can buy everything at the dollar store or whatever cheap store you have around you. They have those materials, and you don't need to go to an expensive craft store or anything. You just go to like a regular cheap store. They have tinfoil. Most of them have masking tape. Save up egg cartons, or use, you don't have to use like this clay. Where Gnomes lives, she's mainly using, right now, she's using like paper towels. And hi, what are you doing here? Yeah, I'm not a flower, sweetheart. I'm not a flower. You don't want to be here. I'm covered in glue. You little thing. Wow. Where was I? Yeah, cheap materials. And she now uses just paper towel and wood glue mixed, PVA glue or wood glue mixed with water to add them on, and you just use acrylic paints to paint it. It's simple like that. Oh, now I remember what I was supposed to put in here. Actually, I was gonna put in some, because this turns kind of dark. Actually, it gets lighter when it dries, but I sometimes in this mix I put some just gesso, just cheap gesso wherever you can find it. If you don't have gesso, you can just put some white acrylics in. This I bought at dollar store, so this big one was about $3. Just sort of, I do kind of random. When I count currency, I sort of put both euro and dollar and pound kind of like the same, like 1 to 10. Like $1 is 10 Swedish crowns, 1 euro is 10 Swedish crowns. It's just easier way to count. I mean, it's not exact, but you kind of get an idea of what it costs here and what I pay. Where was I? Yes, new followers. So I'm kind of I really bounced today, right? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Let's bounce back to this. So new followers, and I feel like every time someone follows me, I'm like, why? Because I'm all over the place. I don't edit. I do videos about pretty much anything that happens to me, like stuff that I'm thinking about. And I also don't have quite full clue on what I post. I'm not sure I should tell you that, but I film like a lot. And I might maybe end up posting like 10% of what I filmed. So I kind of forget what I've said in films that I posted compared to films that I filmed, if that makes sense. So I don't put a whole thick layer. I just cover it. And this will dry pretty hard. You see the big one I did with the 2 stories? I can stand on that. That's how hard it is. I can stand on it. But that one I built in several layers, and it just kept growing, because once I had made like the first thing, I was like, but I want this there, and then I cut it open and made a balcony. And that's the good thing about this. You can always change your mind. You can keep building it. You can, add on to it. You can, oh my goodness, guys, you have to go check her channel. She's making such an amazing room. Like, just the corner of the room, she's made this really huge tree, and it keeps growing and adding stuff. And she makes little figures that lives there, and she makes all these mushrooms, and oh my god, it's so adorable. I love it. So I really, 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 really recommend you to go check out her channel. I will remember to link that one down below. I'm just, wow, I love her channel so much. I have a lot of channels that I absolutely, totally adore and love and everything. And One of you guys actually subscribed to me today and made me completely starstruck, because I easily get starstruck. I shouldn't say that, but I do get starstruck really easily. If it's a channel that I follow, it doesn't matter if you have 5 subscribers or if you have like 500,000 subscribers. If I love your content, if I'm following you or something and you start to follow me, I get starstruck. If you have 5 followers, it doesn't matter. If you have 50 million followers, it doesn't matter. If I love your videos, been following you for a while, and I love your videos, and when you subscribe to me, I get super starstruck. We're talking goosebumps. We're talking like, ee! Like the little, I don't know if you ever seen the cartoon with Wallace and Gromit. So I do the Gromit hand. It's like I sit in front of the computer or my phone or whatever and go like, ee! Yeah. And I did that today. So I want to welcome Pink Poodle Crafts, and I'm super proud, and I probably shouldn't brag about it. I'm not bragging. I'm just really happy and stoked, and I'm just, hi girl. And for those of you who don't know who it is, she's an amazing person. She has a channel, Pink Poodle Craft, and she does, especially this, she does a lot of live streams, but the ones that kind of draw me in there was the mixed media mashups. That what made me find her channel. Where she, ouch! Oh, you little bugger. Stop biting. And I didn't get it. There it is. Yeah? Think you're gonna eat me? Come on, land so I can kill you. Where did you go? I hate when they go behind you. And now I have now I have a lot of clay on my leg. That's nice. But it comes off pretty easy from hands and stuff, so because it's water based. And it's just paper, basically. Paper and glue. And it comes off pretty easy. Anyway, the mixed media mashups, and I've been thinking for quite some time now that I'm gonna film when I follow one of her mixed media mashups, just to, you know, see what I can do with the stuff that, because everyone makes different. I love that in the Facebook group. You know, you see everyone that has followed the mixed media mashups, and even though the prompt are the same, like use a paper cutout from a magazine, like that's the card she pulls. That's what you add to the project. And then she might have use a stencil, then you use a stencil. And it's so fun to see everyone's different creativity, their ideas, I love it. I love the idea. It's so amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So anyway, the problem for me is that she kind of does the mashups in the middle of the night, but they are up there as videos. So if you want to follow them, go to her channel, go check them out, because it's an amazing idea and it sparks your creativity a lot and sort of helps you think outside the box a bit. Because you might start a project when you're just sitting and working on it, and you're like, oh, I want to make this with that. And then she pulls a card that's completely different from what you have in mind, and then you have to like just keep an open mind and just craft. Just craft without thinking, and I love that. Just follow the instructions and just see what happens, see where it takes you. And you might end up with a total different, ouch! Ugh. Hate that disgusting little critter. At least now it got stuck in the glue. Oh my goodness. I wouldn't make a good Hindu. I killed too many things, but they bite me and I smack them back. I hate biting bugs. I don't see the point of them, really. I kind of get the point of mosquitoes because they feed a lot of birds. But then we have mosquito repellents and we have pretty easy stuff too. Now I'm smoothing it up a bit too much for my liking, but kind of need to thin it out. Oh, the wind, the wind, the wind, the wind. I hope it's not messing too much with the mic, because I know some people watch videos on, ouch, watch videos with headphones on, and the wind might make it a bit hard. And also when I scream, ouch, I do apologize. I don't mean to wreck your eardrums. That's not my goal. That would be kind of fun to have as a goal though, but fun in a sarcastic way. to break your viewers' eardrums. Nope, not gonna do that, but sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. Come on, be stuck. So normally I sit when I do this, but my back is pretty bad today, and I feel it gets better if I stand a bit for work. And this is one of the crafts and work that I can do standing up. And I don't have like a table that goes up and down. So usually I use an old ironing board because I can change the height of that. So I use that when I need to stand up and craft, but it's inside and I didn't bother. And this one I don't have to set it down right now. It's maybe easier to do the roots if you sit down and just put it on something, but I'm doing it standing today. In case you're missing it, I'm doing it standing today. Stand up. There we go. There we go. Also, when this layer is dry and you feel like, no, I want a window back here, you can always cut up the window because it's just tinfoil, masking tape, and this clay. And I mean, you can just run a sharp knife through it. Just don't put your hand behind it. Jab yourself. Don't do that. I've done that. I know, I'm a klutz. I'm a klutz. But it's also really easy to like keep on building, because once this is dry, you can always build on more. You can put on more more. You can put on more like tinfoil, because this is just tinfoil wrapped in masking tape, and just add it on and make it bigger, and then put more clay on top of that. You can just keep on building as much as you want. You can start in a little corner of your room, and finally you have your whole room covered in the whole, end up with a whole forest, or just a very, very big tree stump. I don't know. Oh, that would be so cool, wouldn't it? To make your whole room into a big, you know, hold out tree stump. How cool would that be? Oh, come on, guys, that would be awesome. I bet there are people that already done that, because I have a tendency to, I think about something and I get an idea, and if I don't get around to do it right away and kind of wait, I usually find that same idea online. It's like, I think I said this example in a video earlier somewhere, because I have like my pens and stuff in big flower pots, because they're kind of sturdy. They just stand there. No matter how many pens you have, they don't tip over. And now I have a biter here again. So I was thinking, oh, I should make my flower pots look like fairy houses, you know, and just glue them onto, I have this like a big plate that I have them on, so I just can move all of them at once. I don't have to like move pot by pot. So I was thinking, oh, what if I make that into like a forest and a little fairy landscape? But I didn't get around to it, and then all of a sudden, I think it was a few months after or something like that, it was after anyway, all of a sudden on Instagram it pops up a guy that had done just like that, and I was like, my idea, but I haven't shared it with anyone, so he couldn't steal my idea. But that brings me to another thing. I see a lot of crafters and jewelry makers and whatnot out there that complain, oh, you stole my idea, you stole my idea. Sweetheart, listen,